Once again, we'd like to welcome you to the program. Belgium agreed on Saturday to host former President Laurent Gbagbo after his conditional release at the International Criminal Court last week on Friday. Judges at the court imposed conditions on his release and that of his aide, Charles Blé Goudé. The two were released on condition that they live in a third country, pending an appeal by the prosecution. According to the Belgian government, the decision to host Gbagbo is a part of the framework of its support for international criminal jurisdictions. Gbagbo's strongman Charles Blé Goudé, however, is still waiting for a host country willing to take him.
C'est exact, Linette. Si l'ex-président ivoirien...
If the former Ivorian president will have waited barely 24 hours before his next host country, Belgium, makes its decision, his co-accused Charles Blé Goudé will not have had such a chance since he still does not know at this time his future destination. The ICC imposed drastic conditions on the two Ivorian political figures. Laurent Gbagbo will also have to surrender his passport with a ban on leaving his host municipality without prior authorization from the court, and he will have to report once a week to the Belgian authorities.
Well, we now speak to Andre Sylvain-Conan, a political analyst in Ivory Coast. He joins us now from the capital, Abidjan. Thank you very much for accepting to speak to us, Andre. So, former President Laurent Gbagbo acquitted on January the 15th, but released under conditions last Friday. This came as a disappointment to his supporters.
Si, c'est une évidence, d'autant que le premier...
If this is all the more obvious since the first announcement of his acquittal was greeted by scenes of jubilation we saw, and then the second announcement of his conditional release was not welcomed at all in all favor, as we had seen in the beginning, it's obvious that it blunted the heat a little bit.
Quel changement peut apporter cette libération de l'ex-président?
What changes can this liberation bring to the Ivorian political scene in the country?
Oh, pas grand-chose. On a en Côte d'Ivoire entre la vie politique.
Not much in Ivory Coast. Political life is governed by three major political parties, led by the three major leaders, Laurent Gbagbo for the FPI, Alassane Ouattara for the RDR, which became the RHDP, and then the PDCI of Henry Konan Bedie. We started from a kind of tripolarization in 2010 to reach a bipolarization between the presidential camp led by Bedie and Ouattara. But since the divorce of Bedie and Ouattara, it is a status quo. So we wait to see what all this will give.
And Andre, still on the country's political atmosphere, do you think this release can contribute to the reconciliation of the Ivorian Popular Front Party?
The FPI is, if you will, in a rather complex situation that requires a much deeper look at the situation. On the one hand, there's a branch supported by Pascal Affi-N'Guessan, who has been the president of the party since Laurent Gbagbo, and another so-called dissident branch, which is in fact supported by the bulk of the FPI's mass and which has remained loyal to Laurent Gbagbo. Therefore, reconstruction does not yet seem obvious to me. The only person who will be able to reconcile the two camps of the FPI is Laurent Gbagbo, although this power of reconciliation will have to be confirmed by the fact that he himself does not take a position in the conflict between the two parties.
Devra s'affirmer par le fait que lui-même ne prenne pas position dans le conflit qui oppose.
It is a position in conflict between his heirs, his political successors, so we're not there yet.
Donc voilà, on n'en est pas encore là.
Pour terminer, André Sylvain-Conan, il y a quelques jours, plusieurs...
To finish, a few days, several former pro-Gbagbo activists returned from exile. Can his release be a catalyst for national reconciliation? In your thoughts, that is.
Un catalyseur finalement pour la réconciliation nationale ivoirienne.
Écoutez, ce pays n'a jamais été réconcilié. Voilà, je vais dire...
Listen, this country has never been reconciled, and it will probably not be reconciled with the release of Laurent Gbagbo, because Reconciliation is about justice. And there has never been justice since the theoretical end of the post-election crisis in Ivory Coast in 2011. It must be understood that since 2011, exiles close to the FPI have been returning home, but this has not contributed to reconciliation. On August 6, 2018, Alassane Ouattara pardoned 800 people, including Simone Gbagbo, the former First Lady, and this did not contribute to reconciliation either. You see people brandishing certain symbolical facts as factors of reconciliation, but in fact, it's not.
Well, we have to leave it at that, Andre, but many thanks for giving us your insights regarding Laurent Gbagbo's conditional release and what to expect in the country's political scene. Political analyst Andre Sylvain Conan there, speaking to us from Ivory Coast's economic capital, Abidjan.